What's going on, Nimians, and welcome back to my review series of everyone's favorite cynical, depressed asshole of an anthropomorphic horse, Bojack Horseman. My all-time favorite Netflix original series. In the last 3 videos, I reviewed the first 3 seasons of the show, and now I'm reviewing Season 4. So if you have not seen the reviews I did on the other seasons, then please go watch those first before coming back to this video. There should be a link in the description to a playlist. So now that that's all out of the way, let's get into Season 4. Spoilers ahead. Before we get into the content of the season, I just want to mention something about the opening theme song sequence of this season. So in each season, the theme stays mostly the same, except for a few small changes. It always begins with Bojack waking up and going through his house. During the portion he goes through his house, it usually changes a bit based on what's currently going on in the show. I do think it's pretty cool that they changed the intro slightly just to keep up with what's going on in the show. That's just really cool to me. But that's not the part of the intro that I'm talking about. I want to mention the next portion, which it always shows Bojack going through some public location based on what's going on in that specific season. In the first season, he's walking through a produce store because there's really not much going on in his life in this season. In Season 2, he's on the set of Secretariat, because this season is about the making of that movie. In the third season, he's walking by a screening of Secretariat with a bunch of cameras and everything, because this season focuses on Bojack trying to win the Oscar for the movie. Okay, so far with the first 3 seasons, each location he's in is quite fitting. So, what do they do for Season 4? This. No special location or anything like that, just all the different people in his life that have influenced him over the years. Now at first this might seem like it was just a random choice because in this season Bojack doesn't have much going on in terms of his career, but I think this is a very deliberate choice based on what this season focuses on. This season is all about Bojack coming to terms with all the terrible things he's done in the past and trying to do something right for a change. This sequence here is showing all of the things that constantly go through Bojack's head that push him back into the "I'm just a terrible person who is poison to everyone I meet" thoughts that he constantly has. These thoughts that are shown in this portion of the intro sequence are the things that he must overcome in order to accomplish his goals of actually being a better person. Those thoughts are the antagonist of this season. The idea of Bojack being his own villain is something that has always been there in the show, but I think this is the season that really focuses on that more than anything. There's nothing else distracting him this time. No book he's working on, no movie, he's not trying to win an Oscar. All he has to focus on is a new character who comes in, Hollyhock. Hollyhock is a character who comes into the show believing that she is the biological daughter of Bojack Horseman. A lot of this season is focused on Bojack trying to help her find out who her real mother is. The struggle for Bojack in this season is for him to finally do something right, and that thing is being a good father to Hollyhock. So far, he has been a terrible person to almost everyone else in his life, and this time he doesn't want to let that happen again. Also, another huge thing that's going on in this season is Bojack reconnecting to his mother, whom he hates. She is taken out of the nursing home she was placed in and now lives at Bojack's house for the rest of her life. We also get a lot of backstory in this season for Bojack's mother and get a very good insight into why she always treated Bojack so badly. You actually kind of sympathize with her, even though she has done some terrible things in the past. Some standout episodes in this season would be Episode 2, Episode 6, and Episode 11. At the beginning of the season, Bojack is missing for a year, and Episode 2 shows us where he was this whole time. After feeling terrible about everything that happened in the previous season, he went to an old lake house in Michigan where his mother grew up. Over this year that he was gone, he works on fixing up the old house with the help of a neighbor. Throughout the episode, we are thrown a lot of interesting flashbacks to back when Bojack's mom was a little girl. By the end, Bojack sees just how pathetic it is to constantly hold on to terrible events of the past, and that makes him realize that he doesn't want to end up like that man, and that's the push he needs to finally decide to go back home. Episode 6 is a great episode that gives the best insight into Bojack's thought process that we've ever gotten.
Can I take the car or what?
Shit, I don't want her driving my car, getting her grubby hands all over everything. She's not grubby, she's your daughter, you piece of garbage. You're a piece of garbage, a real shitty piece of garbage. Okay, think, idiot. If she takes the car, then you're trapped here with Mom and her spooky lazy eyes. But if you get the milk and leave Hollyhock here with Mom, then she can tell her things about you. Poison your own daughter against you. Is that what you want? Okay, how about, hold on. Oh shit, they're all looking at you. Say something, dum-dum. Open your idiot dumbass mouth. I will get milk.
Basically, the whole episode keeps going like this, and it's something that I feel like a lot of people can relate to in some way, including myself. I mean, don't we all beat ourselves up in our heads sometimes? The other standout episode I mentioned was episode 11. Bojack is fed up with his mother after she secretly got Hollyhock hooked on drugs and takes her back to a care facility for her to spend the rest of her days. While on the way there, she begins to remember a lot of events that happened in the past. Most of this episode consists of her flashbacks on her whole life. This is where we finally put together all the pieces of the puzzle to where Bojack came from. It also reveals another interesting truth. Hollyhock is not Bojack's daughter. She is actually his half-sister. Anyway, this episode shows all of Bojack's mother's past, and we learn just how terrible and sad it all really was. This is by far the darkest episode of the season. In fact, that seems to be a pattern in every season. The 11th episode always seems to be the darkest, most emotional, and most hard-hitting episode of the entire season. Okay, so I know I've been talking about this season longer than any other, but that's because there really is a lot to talk about with this season. This season really does seem to be a full culmination of the past 4 seasons. It actually does end on quite a hopeful note, so really this could easily be the last season. As excited as I am for Season 5, it does seem like this would be a good ending. Not to say that there's nowhere for the 5th season to go. I mean, Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter's relationship was left on somewhat of a cliffhanger. Bojack is working on being in a new show, and you can always spend time developing some of the other characters, so who knows? I'll just have to wait and see. As soon as Season 5 comes out, I will be getting a review out as soon as I possibly can. Anyway, that's mostly all I have to say about Season 4, so thanks for watching. Goodbye. Not going to say anything specifically, but what we see in the flashbacks